Hey guys, what's up and welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I figured for this week's video I could do like a little video where I give you all of my thrifting tips. Like, I don't have a specific like written list down of all the tips, but just I'm gonna talk about the things that I do when I go thrifting because, you know, I am kind of a master at thrifting at this point. I'm kind of good at it. Not to toot my own horn, but yeah. So without further ado, let's get into it. So my number one tip is gonna be just to look at everything. You know, like literally when you get to the store, don't just like walk by and like, you know, every third thing you look at. I'm talking you dig. So you literally flip one like through, like let's say you're in shirts. You look at every single shirt front and back until you get to the end of the rack, and like that is kind of like the only way to really do it, to like find good stuff. Also look in sections that you normally wouldn't look in, like look in the children's section, because a lot of the time you can find, like if you are like a smaller like woman, a lot of the time you can find like women's like smalls and extra smalls in the kids section. For some reason, like a lot of thrift stores will end up putting them there for some reason. Also the men's section, you can find maybe like a shirt you really love, even if it's a men's shirt. Like I always look there for like graphic shirts and stuff. Like these are some of my favorite long sleeve winter shirts. And obviously these were in the men's section. Anything waffle knit too. Like if you are looking through the men's long sleeve shirt section, especially in the winter, look through the waffle knit stuff because you're gonna find stuff like this, and I think that's really awesome. A lot of the time people also ask me like what thrift store I go to, which this question is a complicated one to me, just because if I say like the chain of thrift store I go to, like that's not really gonna help you unless you live in the exact same town as me, or like, you know, in the neighboring towns or whatever, because I do like, you know, travel to other towns a lot of the time to go thrifting. One thrift store is never gonna be better than another, like when it comes to at least the things they have. When it comes to pricing, yeah, maybe some are better than others. Like I would say Goodwill, the regular Goodwill locations, bad, very expensive. Savers is also like a pretty expensive thrift store, but I do end up shopping there like a good amount because they do have like reward systems. So if you are a Super Saver Club member, which I am, like you get a lot of like perks and stuff, and also if you donate you can get a 20% off coupon. So there are a lot of ways to save money at Savers. Like you don't have to pay so much money, like, but at Goodwill they'll have like basically the same prices as Savers, and then you don't get any way to get any money off. So honestly, the regular Goodwill stores, pretty expensive. I know people are gonna say like, oh well, they're not there to have cheap clothes, they're actually there to help people who, like, you know, people who just got out of jail and stuff, to help them get back on their feet and stuff like that, which that's a good cause, but also I don't want to break the bank at Goodwill of all places. But anyways, yeah, honestly, just go to the thrift stores like within like 15-20 mile radius of you. If you can't drive, like I would say definitely like closer because that's more difficult, but if you can drive, like go to the thrift stores that are like within 20-30 minutes of you, every single one of them, until you find one that you like, because thrift stores, every single thrift store is not gonna have, you know, one item better than another because they go off of donations. So any thrift store can have like either a really good stuff or really bad stuff depending on like the donations they got that week, you know what I mean? I really hope this is making sense. Like I hope this isn't like coming off as like an insane like rambling video, but it's just, it frustrates me to no end when people are like, what thrift store did you go to? Like I want to see this stuff there, because you're not gonna find the same stuff as me in the same chain of thrift store, you know? Like even if it's the same exact thrift store, you're not gonna find the same stuff because I already bought it, you know? It's not gonna be there anymore. Like it's not the same as a regular store. Like they're not gonna carry the same items. When it comes to like stuff like the Goodwill bins, I did go thrifting at the Goodwill bins for like 4 months straight and like nowhere else, and you know, multiple times a week and stuff. Honestly, I wouldn't really recommend. I originally started going there as a way to just like be able to source more inventory because I am a full-time Depop seller. So I started going there just so I could buy like more stuff at once, because the thrift stores I was going to, I could only get like 20-30 items in one go. So I wanted to be able to get like 70 items in one go at the bins, which I honestly, a lot of the time didn't really get that many items at the bins, like maybe like 50 at most, which is why I went twice a week. And it wasn't that good of stuff because a lot of the time the stuff at the bins is stuff that, you know, at other Goodwill locations did not sell. So that's why I ended up at the bins. The bins does sometimes get direct donations, but that's the majority of the stuff is like the rejects from like the regular like Goodwill stores. So you can find good stuff, but it's not going to be as often as a regular thrift store. Like I said, I have been going to Savers recently. Like yes, it's more expensive, but I use my rewards and stuff. I have been able to get like between like 70 and 130 items per trip there, which I do get weird looks, and I do get, you know, the people who work there being like, oh, again? Because I'll take multiple trips because literally my cart gets full. Like I need to bring this stuff to my car and like start over. So I have this one lady who always goes like, again? I'm like, yeah, sorry. Like it makes me feel weird, but like I feel like they're judging me, but also I'm giving them business. I'm like shopping in their store, so I'm sure they're not like mad at me, but it's just like, oh yeah, so I don't want them to notice me, but they do. I probably should have scripted this because I do have more things to say about each topic that I've already talked about, but let's go. So yeah, to recap, basically, there is not going to be a chain or a specific thrift store that's going to be better than another. You really have to like look around, find which one you like the best, which one you have noticed in your area gets the best donations, because that is a thing I've noticed. Like, some thrift stores do get better donations than others, but it's not really based on the chain of thrift stores, just based on who is donating in that area to that thrift store, like which items are getting donated specifically to that thrift store in that local area. Always look at every single item in every single section, because you will find some good stuff. You'll often find things that are not supposed to be in certain sections. Like, I actually found this Von Dutch crew neck in the men's section too. So clearly this is not supposed to be in the men's section, but it was. And I was like, oh my god. Also look at things like toys and stuff, because you can find stuff like the little Victoria's Secret pink dogs, and like often like they'll be in like plastic bags. So that's cool. I've never found them personally, but honestly I am guilty of not looking through the toys because I am focused on the clothes, which I really want to, but like honestly I just end up getting very, very tired when I go through things, because I'll be there for like, 6 hours. I'm like, I don't feel like looking through the toys. Like, I don't need the dogs that bad, but that's just me. Like, I should work on like not getting so winded, maybe like taking like a break and like sitting in my car and then coming back in, which I probably should do, but then I'll be like, I want to go home and like do laundry and everything. Would not recommend the Goodwill bins. The Goodwill bins is going to be cheaper, yes, but personally for me also, when I was going to the Goodwill bins, I was going to the Goodwill bins in New Jersey. The closest one to me is in Long Island City, which is about an hour and a half away from me, but I would drive 2.5 hours to New Jersey because the one in Long Island City was honestly like, it was dark in there and like really stressful, and there was no parking and everything. So the one in New Jersey was easier to go to, but also I had to pay a lot in tolls and gas. So honestly, it worked out to being about the same expense as it would be if I just went to a closer thrift store. And I ended up not being able to get that many items anyways, but then I found Savers. And when I used to go shopping at Savers, I would only let myself buy up to $100 worth of items, because I was like, well, I want to be able to apply my discount. Like, I'm not gonna like spend these Savers prices, you know what I mean? But then I figured out, like, they're not gonna yell at you if you do multiple trips in one day, so I don't, like, really, like, leave and, like, pay when I get up to 100 items. Like, a lot of the time I will, like, not 100 items, $100 worth of items. A lot of times I will go over that amount. Like, maybe I'll check out when I have, like, $150 worth of items, but that's just more because, like, my cart gets full, but it has helped me, like, save more money doing that. Also, the Savers that's closest to me, I go to one that's not that close to me now, the Savers that's closest to me, doesn't do color tag discounts, but the one that's like a little bit farther does, so I go to that one, and that one also like has less people and it's like less stressful to go to that one. That's like personally what I do, but it's really you gotta figure out what works for you the best, you know what I mean? So yeah, those are all my tips. I think that's all of it. Yeah, I'm sorry if this is like super convoluted. I just like sat down and like threw up words at you. I probably should have scripted this like I said, but I didn't. I should get better at this YouTube thing. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more like it. I do go thrifting a lot. I make a lot of like shorts and stuff about, first of all, I do a lot of like thrift hauls as shorts, and then I also do Get Dressed With Me. Like, those are the main shorts that I make, but I post most of like the TikToks that I make on here too. If you don't follow my TikTok, it's already at 50, same as my YouTube handle. That should be in my little, I don't know if it's bio, but like my little about section on YouTube. But anyways, I have rambled for long enough, so I'll see you guys later. Bye.